a context API to share state across my components. And the context API is really nice because it allows us to pass state without having to use props. And you could almost think of it as a central store for our data that we would like to use throughout our application and update. So with that being said, let's get into the video, and I'll show you how to implement this in your projects. And again, I'll be using hooks in this little tutorial. So if you don't know what hooks are, I suggest going to the React JS documentation and reading it. It's very good. So yeah, let's get started. So first, I would like to import React, and I'll like to import use state, and I'll like to import the create context API. So now I'm going to create our context, and I'm doing an export because I want to use this in other components that's in other files. So I'm going to use the export, and I'll call mine project context, and you want to do context like so. And now we'll want to create a provider for our context, and you can think of the provider as almost as like a component, but it's not a component, but you could think of it as a component that stores the state. That's how I like to think of it. And you can do this by doing this, and I'll call mine project provider. Like so, and it looks like a normal component that you'll create. So yeah, that's really nice. And I would like to use the state, so I'll call my states that I'd like to track our projects, and let's call it set projects. Like so, and now we'll want to return something, and that something is our context that we will say project context dot provider. This is what we'll be returning, the provider. And we want to pass this down to other components, so we'll do props.children. So I'm going to use this context API in another component. And in that component, I have a add projects function that's going to take an object and add it to and update the state in our context. So we're going to import we'll be importing our project context from where I housed it, like so. And now we want to call the API, our context API that we just created, and you do it like this. You're going to do const. You want to grab the state that you wish to update, which in mine, if you remember, was called projects, and set projects. And now you want to you want to use the use context hook, and you want to pass in the context that we just created, which was project context. Like so. And now we have access to the state in our context. So now we can update the state in this component. And I'm going to do that here. So what I'm going to do is call set projects, pass in this and update it. Spread. State like so. And now I'm going to want to pass the provider to our in my app component so we can use it. So I already have it imported here. So what I'm going to do, project provider, sorry about that. What I'm going to do, you just simply wrap the provider around like this. Provider. I'll just wrap it around the whole. Like that. Now we should have access to it. Oh, one more thing I forgot to do is to pass a value. In the project provider, you want to pass in a value. And we'll do that like so. I'll pass in the value of projects and set projects like so. And now all of the children components will have access to these values when we pass it down. So thank you for watching the video, and I hope you learned how to use React, the context API in React, and implement it in your projects. Thank you.